about McDonald's. She said she worked in McDonald's. She said she worked in McDonald's. Oh, she worked over the French fries. It was so hot. The heat, it was so hot. She'd burn her hand every once in a while on the grease. Oh, McDonald's. It was a lie. She never worked at McDonald's. And the fake news doesn't want to mention it. They had a big thing about her job at McDonald's, and they went there, and the manager's been there a long time. Other people have been there a long time, say, no, she never worked here. Never worked here. She lied. That sounds simple, but that's really bad. It was a pure and simple lie. She never worked at McDonald's. And didn't Oprah ask her about her time at McDonald's? And she just sort of didn't want to answer that one. Let me not talk about that. Oprah said, you work at McDonald's. That's great. Oprah didn't hear the end result. She never worked there. So Kamala just sort of hid under the desk along with every other answer she gave.
Hey, everyone. We've got some wild new footage from Donald Trump's rally in North Carolina. And let me tell you, it did not go well for him. You could literally see the MAGA crowd walking out halfway through. Flushed face, but before we dive into all the details of this crazy moment, be sure to like this video and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It helps a ton and supports the channel. So, Trump was on stage, doing what he does best, complaining and focusing on his grievances, especially about Kamala Harris. We know he's still fuming over the debate lost to her in Philly. And now she's accepted an invitation to debate on October 23rd, which clearly has him triggered. The more upset he gets, the more unhinged his speeches become, and that was super obvious today. But here's the thing. The MAGA crowd didn't stick around to hear it. They were fed up with the same old rants, and about halfway through, people just started leaving. Grimacing face, you could see how much it rattled Trump, and we've got the footage to prove it. Stick around as we break down exactly when the crowd hit their breaking point and how it all went down. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. All right, let's get into it.
Democrat demanded late-term abortion in the 7th, 8th, and 9th month, or even execution of a baby after birth, which is what they want. I asked her about it during the debate, and she didn't want to answer it. I said, are you willing to have an abortion on a woman in the 9th month? And she didn't want to answer. The answer is yes. And think of it, even after birth. It's called execution. I will protect women at a level never seen before. They will finally be healthy, hopeful, safe, and secure. Their lives will be happy, beautiful, and their lives will be great again. So women, we love you. We're going to take care of you. Thank you. We're going to take care of you. It's where they've always wanted it. Everybody, every legal scholar in the country, that's where they want it.
Donald Trump is back at it with the same old disgraceful lies and attacks on abortion, and his rhetoric is getting even more radical, angry, and out of control, while a lot of the MAGA crowd still cheers him on. What's really interesting is that a growing percentage of his own supporters still believe in a woman's right to choose. And today, we saw a moment where even his diehard supporters had enough. As Trump kept ranting about abortion, we caught a shocking moment. The MAGA crowd started to leave in droves. Yep, they were so fed up that they walked out while Trump was still talking. Before we dive into the footage, don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. Your support means the world to me and helps the channel grow. Now, let's take a look at this jaw-dropping moment when Trump's own crowd couldn't take it anymore.
You have to get out and vote. You just have to get out and vote. We cannot accept it. What they do is the only thing they do well. They cheat. The policies.
This clip comes from journalist Samuel Benson, and I just want to take a moment to thank all the journalists who cover these MAGA rallies. It's clear that just as much as MAGA supporters are tired of Donald Trump, I can't imagine how exhausted Samuel must be covering the same grievance-filled rants over and over again. The crowd, fed up, leaving, done. Trump's still talking, but they've had enough. These speeches drag on for hours, and it's always the same recycled lines. People are over it because Trump's speeches only have one topic, himself. As Tim Walz points out in the clip we're about to watch, Trump doesn't talk about anything but Donald Trump. That's the only subject he cares about, and it's driving even his own supporters away. Faced with rolling eyes. Before we jump in, Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us keep growing and bringing you the real stories. Now, let's check out this moment with Tim Walz and see what he had to say about Trump's never-ending self-obsession.
But what you all know is it's what people don't say, and it's what Donald Trump never says. His vocabulary, while not hugely wide, there is one word he's very good at. Yes, someone smaller than I saw that. I see you there. The one word he knows well is I. Me. That's about as far as it goes. I, me, what's good in it for me. He didn't say anything about how he was going to make life better for the American public. He didn't say anything about how it was going to impact your family. He didn't even say anything how it was going to impact his supporters' families, because, of course, we're here to make sure the policies we advocate for are good.
Kamala Harris is doing an incredible job drawing a sharp contrast in this campaign, and it's driving Donald Trump crazy. Every time she stays focused on delivering her message, Trump just spirals, obsessing over her more and more. What's amazing is how unbothered Kamala Harris is by Trump's failed attacks. While Trump is fixated on himself, Kamala keeps her eyes on the bigger picture, the future. This is why the contrast between them keeps getting wider and more obvious. And it's also why Trump is probably too scared to debate her again. He knows he can't control himself, and Kamala is so good at pushing his buttons. We saw earlier how Trump tried to claim Kamala's interview with Oprah was a disaster, which is laughable for two reasons. The interview was incredibly well received, and it shows that Trump is glued to every single thing Kamala does, every rally, every speech, every interview, while she's focused on the future and moving forward. Kamala's message is clear, and she's laying out a vision for America's future, as we saw at her rally in Atlanta. I've got a clip from that event, and it really shows the stark contrast between these two. Before we dive in, don't forget to like this video and hit subscribe if you haven't already. Your support helps us grow and keep bringing you these important updates. Let's check out the clip now.
This election right here is a fight for the future. It is a fight for the future. And it is a fight for freedom. For freedom. And we know in America, freedom is not to be given. It is not to be bestowed. It is ours by right. It is ours by right. And that includes the fundamental freedom of a woman to be able to make decisions about her own body and not have her government telling her what.
As I mentioned earlier, while Donald Trump is busy mocking Kamala Harris, trying to claim she never worked at McDonald's, which is a ridiculous lie, Kamala Harris is focused on real issues, like women's reproductive freedom, one of the most crucial topics in this election. Trump's attempts to discredit her only highlight their differences. Kamala Harris grew up middle class and has worked hard her entire life. Meanwhile, Trump was handed everything on a silver spoon, inheriting billions, which he squandered. That's the real contrast between these two. Kamala is about hard work and focusing on the future, while Trump is stuck in the past, obsessed with himself. And when it comes to the issues that matter, Kamala Harris is leading the charge on defending women's rights, while Trump continues to lie and attack those freedoms. It's clear Kamala is fighting for the future, while Trump is stuck in the past. This contrast is so obvious, and it's also why Trump is probably terrified to debate her again. You can tell how scared he is based on his recent comments, which I'll play for you in just a moment. Before we get to that, make sure to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's keep the focus on what really matters in this campaign. Now, check out what Trump said.
Debate, I've done two. It's too late to do another. I'd love to in many ways, but it's too late. The voting is cast. The voters are out there immediately. Is everybody voting? Please get out and vote.
For some context, during the last election between President Biden and Donald Trump, the final debate took place on October 22nd. This time, the next debate is scheduled for October 23rd, just one day later. Trump is now claiming it's too late because people are already voting. But this was also true last time, so that excuse doesn't really hold up. Let's be honest, would Donald Trump lie? Absolutely. A debate date has been set, and Trump is running scared. Pete Buttigieg made an excellent point about this, saying Trump now has two options: accept the debate and try to shift the race in his favor, which, let's be real, he'll fail at. Or he could continue to refuse, showing everyone just how scared and weak he really is, totally undermining the tough guy image he tries so hard to project. Either way, Trump is losing, and it's a win-win for us. His supporters are getting bored, his crowds are walking out, and Kamala Harris is surging. Everything is going downhill for Donald Trump, and things are looking great for Kamala Harris, and for all of us who believe in the future she's fighting for.
Hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. If you stuck around the end, drop a blue heart in this comment. And until next time, I will see you soon.